This flight is already dead. They just don't know it yet.
It's kind of hard to tell exactly what you guys just watched without any context, but what you just watched were 75 people lose their lives. So this clip shows a simulation of the last few moments of all of these people's lives during Aeroflot Flight 593, which took place between Russia to China. Now, as with many airplane crash videos that I make, I want to state that if you guys have a fear of flying in airplanes, probably don't watch this video, but just remember these types of situations are extremely rare and almost always caused due to pilot error. So as previously mentioned, the flight we're talking about is Aeroflot Flight 593. This took place back on March 23rd of 1994. It was supposed to be a very simple flight from Moscow to Hong Kong, but things went wrong partially through the flight. Now, apparently, mistakes were already made prior to when this flight began because the relief captain on this flight, Yaroslav, decided to bring his 13 and 15-year-old children onto this flight for their first international trip. Then, a little after midnight on March 23rd, Yaroslav felt very comfortable with how the flight was going, so decided to let his children sit in the captain's seat to imitate as though they were flying the plane. Yaroslav's daughter, who was 13 years old, was the first to sit in the pilot's chair, and nothing went wrong with her. But when his son Eldar took over, who was 15, he accidentally applied a little bit too much pressure to the yoke, which disengaged the autopilot on the airplane. A silent light indicator did go off, warning the pilots that the aircraft was now in partial control. However, they were used to different airplanes where there was an audible sound for this, so none of them even noticed this, which is also partially where things started going really wrong. The plane started banking extremely harshly, and at a certain point, they started losing a lot of altitude because of how harsh this bank angle was, which meant it was a very hard challenge for the pilots to be able to get back into the seat to control the plane. The automated system then put the plane into a straight nosedive in order to prevent a stall from occurring, which is very bad, and this finally allowed pilots to get back into the operating chair and try to fix the problem. Finally, the pilots were able to pull up on the plane and get it back onto the right course, but one of them ended up overcorrecting this issue, sending the plane going straight up, which again put them back into a stall, and this time they were spinning, which is even worse. And again, they were almost able to fix this problem and correct it, but one of the pilots pulled back the yoke too aggressively. This caused the plane to go into a second spin, this time a flat spin. They then recovered again, but by this point, they were far too close to the ground and ended up crashing. So, within just 16 minutes of Yaroslav's children taking the controls and messing up the course of the plane, everybody on this plane, all 75 people, ended up losing their life. What's even more sad about this is after doing some research after the crash, investigators realized that if the pilots had just let go of the yoke after they fixed the first spin, the plane would have righted itself. It would not have gone into a second spin. They just overcorrected too many times. Additionally, Yaroslav was very foolish to allow his children to sit in the captain's chair. This was just a massive mistake, especially considering so many people's lives were put at risk here, and the worst situation happened. As always, let me know what you guys think about this case in the comments below. Drop a comment letting me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.